And then you want to, you want the motion to approve the amendment? Is that
Yes.
taken?
All right.
Thank you.
Motion is for adoption of Amendment 1 to item 19. Supervisor Taylor, the ninth.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'm not surprised at all what's in front of us, a 11-page amendment. I'm going to ask for a little leeway because I'm really getting tired, Mr. Chairman. I'm going to direct this to you.
Please do. Keep it civil.
Well, no, I'll keep it civil.
And on topic.
There's a history for some reason with the supervisor of the 14th and the city of Franklin. Not sure why he, or 16, I'm sorry.
Keep it on topic, though. I don't want to make this personal.
Well, either do I.
Speak to the amendment.
I mean, I think I called Franklin racist, basically. Like, we have some issues there. So let's get back to the document. The administration spent 8, 9, 10 months negotiating this deal. A person who's dead set against it is putting this in front of us to what, make it better, to what he's now negotiating for the county. I've sat in meeting after meeting over the last 8, 9 months with the supervisor of the district and the county executive and the developer and the mayor of Franklin and the village president of Greendale, the village manager of Greendale, and economic development, corp council, environmental, to get this deal where we are now. I wasn't negotiating, we were informed and brought up our concerns as elected officials. Greendale did it, Franklin did it, supervisor of the district did it, I did it. And to come in with a 11-page amendment, this is the longest that I recall seeing. And maybe during budget time when it's capital and there are 30 pages, that's the longest one. But on a regular county board meeting to come in and one individual feel like, I'm just going to rewrite it all, who's never going to support this even if this was adopted the way it is lunacy. Okay, let's talk about the appraisal. $840,000. That does not include any environmental concerns whatsoever. That was not taken into consideration. If you read the appraisal, which is a very long document, it lays out clearly that the appraiser is not an environmental expert. You have to hire someone to say, well, what should you discount the $840? That was done as a part of the deal. The methane systems, the future systems. Right now, it will cost Milwaukee County $3.7 million to do this. Do we have the money? If you are concerned about these environmental issues that the neighbors are worried about, this is a must. It's not something that I guarantee we're going to budget for. So someone should put an amendment in this year's budget, and it sure won't be me, for $3.7 million. So if you look at the way the deal is structured, it's paid for. And yes, part of the future systems, 20 years and 40 years, are paid for using 30% of the tax generated from the development that this developer is doing. Without the development, the system in 20 years is $5 million. You think we're going to have the money then? Have you seen our forecast? Even 5 years out? So you want to talk about infinite cost to the county? If we own Crystal Ridge, it is our cost forever with no assistance. No taxes generated, nothing. So 30% negotiated between the developer and the county. And we're going to have to vote on the trust and everything when it's all said and done. You want to talk about community benefits? It lays out why the price was also reduced. It's because of the environmental, not because of any community benefits, DBE requirements. The developer said, I'm going to do this. So I don't even know why that's brought up. You want to talk about commitments to parks and the terms of the lease that's there now in Greendale, or actually the management agreement now for Crystal Ridge? Developers put in $10 million in improvements on a landfill, people, a landfill. Henry Aaron Field, whose district is that? He put $250,000 in that diamond. There's an investment into a county park. That's where UWM plays their games right now. Well, if this development project moves forward and the stadium is built, that is where UW will have their games. But now Lincoln Park has a much better field than they had prior. Referendum questions. Oh, man. So you're going to tell the city what they have to do. Good luck with that. And we have 6 aldermen, I am one of them, and a mayor elected by the people of the city of Franklin to make decisions like we do in Franklin. We've had town hall meetings, public meetings, so many votes. We approved a TIF. People came, people spoke in favor, people spoke in opposition, but as elected officials, hey, if they don't like it, then they can throw us out. And oh, by the way, 3 aldermen were up and a mayor in April that have voted on Ballpark Commons development, and all are back. So if people didn't like what we were doing, I'd have 1 elected office and not 2. And then when it comes to Rawson expansion, it's not going to get expanded. The road needs to be reconstructed now. It's needed to be reconstructed for 5 years. But expansion, when you go, there's no room. You have Whitnell Park right next to it. You want to, go into the golf course? So I'm speaking against this amendment. I hope everybody in this room sees what is trying to be attempted. You want to kill a deal, and then just vote no at the end of the day. But what's being put in here is never going to fly. It may be what the supervisor of the 16th wants, who's never for this anyway, but this is a tactic that is used over and over again, and I think people that have been around here longer than me, and even less than me, knows this tactic, has seen this action before. Thank you.
Thank you. Supervisor.
Question the best I can, probably because I'm, having 2 years of history on this, the most involved, because I've been at a number of meetings, not just the county level, but the city level. The term sheet that you have in front of you is version 9. It's taken, 9, 10 months to get here. Essentially, the deal that you see in front of us, what's in the term sheet, will end up turning into the deal, the option of purchase. So while there are some things that individuals may want to see, if you take a look at 11 pages, maybe there's one thing that I say, that's not too bad. But the reality, with 18 of us, we can't negotiate this deal going back from scratch, and it's going to come to us essentially like you see it. Now, could there be a few components the supervisor from the 16th brought up at Parks Committee meeting? Are there a couple things in here that, that may be added? I know Supervisor Staskounis said, listen, lighting and noise need to be addressed, and he wants to see that as a part, because he represents that area, and that's been a concern. Even though the city of Franklin, as a part of the developers agreement, has noise and lighting study, we're just putting it on there twice as a part of the overall final deal. So the city's requiring it, and he wants to make sure that, not speaking for the 17th district supervisor, but he wants to see that the county's requiring it as well. But what is in this amendment, I can say without a doubt, most of it is just a deal breaker, because they've spent 9, 10 months to get to the point we're at. When you look at a development and you run the numbers and you look at how many apartments you are building and what the cost of those apartments need to be, that's all part of the calculation. That's all part of the TIF district. It's all part of the decisions the city has already made. So yes, we all could have wish lists of things we would like to see happen, but if it's not possible, then throwing this against the wall and seeing if it sticks is not going to get this deal done. So you have to look at the overall concept. Do you want to come up with $3.7 million for a methane system? Do you want to spend $1 million on Crystal Ridge Road? Do you not want to have a facility, or Crystal Ridge, that prior to the current developer sat desolate for 10 months out of the year, and now 12 months out of the year is being used by our residents for recreation and sports and entertainment? Something that other parts of the county does not have. There's something unique here, so people have to travel outside of Bayview or outside of the North Shore to come and visit. Just like 2 days ago, went to down, the inner city of Milwaukee, or maybe whether it's inner city or not, and walked the streets because it's a fun thing to do. Supervisor Taylor and I had a wonderful time. I think I missed one parade out of 5 years. So you get out of your comfort zone. So yes, this amendment is a killer to the deal. That's really all it is. If there are certain things that you may like to see included that would win your support, tell the administration. See if they can get it into the deal. But frankly, the term sheet that you see now is the deal that will come for us with the trust and with the park lease. So hopefully that answers your question. The delay is a delay. And if there was a true EPA complaint, the county would know, Corp Council would know, the Parks Department who manages it, it's under their jurisdiction, they would know. So it's, people, you have complaints from residents that live around there. You have, like I said, about a dozen or so so-called experts that, they tried to pick apart the comptroller's report. Because they will look at this, or what about this, what about this? It's an endless cycle with some of these individuals. They have nothing more to do than to fight. And so when the supervisor of the 17 said, at some point we need to put this to rest and let people know this is going to happen, or it's not going to happen. And doing this, we can continue to move forward. The Corp Council can continue to see, was there an email that I somehow missed that the EPA filed, there was a complaint from the EPA? Maybe there was, and the EPA said, oh, this is a joke, and they shredded it. But to say, well, everything can move forward, but let's just stop the board's process so Corp Council can report to us in a month, when they probably could have an answer by next week and put it in a memo. But no, we want to delay, because I give a lot of credit to the supervisor of the 16th. Time kills deals. Period. You had the developer's representative talk about at Parks Committee that if we can put a shovel in the ground and start working on this, it's 70% occupancy already, phase one. That means 70% of your retail space is already have options to go in there. Well, we delay a month here, and next month we do a little parliamentary minority rules, and now we have August recess, and now we come back in September. What does 70% turn into? So, very smart. Trying to kill a deal. You start with 11 pages of, hopes and wishes and dreams, and then you try this maneuver. Please don't vote for this.
It is before the body. Supervisor Washington Jr.
Well, I guess, when we have before the board in the future other deals where we talk about wanting to make sure that everybody in our community gets to participate, whether it's on wages or housing or transportation and all of these kind of things, you can look at this as your missed opportunity. I don't know how many more opportunities you're going to get. Health and human needs, behavioral health, all that's gone. The parks system is under attack. The county board will be here maybe the next term, maybe not. You never know what they'll do in Madison. I find it very disappointing that when you talk about livable wages, when you talk about affordable housing, it's hopes, wishes, and dreams. And that people who are supposed to represent people who have been disenfranchised in this community say, oh, well, we don't have time, we got to move it forward. This is your one time. If your eyes aren't open enough to recognize the opportunities ahead of you, you're going to constantly make mistakes. I don't know when other opportunities in Franklin are going to arise to bring up these issues. And so I guess lack of a better phrase is keep on pissing away the opportunities. Do some more marches, stand on the courthouse, do a few more press conferences that get absolutely nothing done. Today is where the rubber meets the road, where you vote for what you really stand for. I don't know, I made the mistake of thinking that people actually believed in some of these things. So go ahead, give another wealthy developer